organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Here's what's just ahead tonight on Daily Iowan TV. One local husband and father is singing his way to stardom. Find out more next.
One fall sport is headed to the Big Ten Championships this weekend.
But before they head out, we caught up with the captains to see how their leadership keeps the team going.
All that and more coming up.
You're watching Daily Iowan TV.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Roberts.
And I'm Katie Sextro. One University of Iowa student organization is hoping to make an impact in how the community supports those with mental illness as suicide rates on college campuses across the nation continue to rise. The Active Minds student organization created the Field of Memories Wednesday, a visual demonstration honoring the roughly 1,100 college students who committed suicide last year. Each flag on the Pennacrest lawn represents one of those lives lost. Students were encouraged to sign them with a motivational message or in memory of a loved one. Nationwide, 1 in 4 are affected by mental health issues, and last year alone, over 200 UI students attempted suicide. This equals about 1% of the total undergraduate population.
I think it's been really powerful to have people sign on behalf of someone that they know who's been touched by suicide, and then just continuing to offer their words of encouragement for Iowa students.
The Active Minds organization is dedicated to the promotion of mental health awareness and suicide prevention on the UI campus.
Getting an African-style hair braiding license in Iowa is turning out to be burdensome and expensive for some. So burdensome, in fact, that 2 women are filing a lawsuit. They argue that the Iowa restrictions for getting the license violate the Constitution because the women's right to earn an honest living without irrational government regulations have been infringed upon. Securing a license to do hair braiding in Iowa requires 2,100 hours of training at a cosmetology school. That training can cost as much as $22,000. The women are being represented by the Institute for Justice, a Virginia-based law firm that has handled similar braiding cases.
The University of Iowa's Dance Marathon hosted its 100 Days Out event today in the IMU second floor ballroom. Dance Marathon participants commemorated this day with fun activities and free food. Dancers were given the opportunity to paint pillowcases, decorate cookies, and learn the infamous Morale Captain dance routine. Dance Marathon is a student organization which provides emotional and financial support to pediatric oncology patients and their families at the University of Iowa Children's Hospital. The big event for Dance Marathon 22 is scheduled for February 5th and 6th, 2015.
Earlier this week, engineering students got a chance to test their skills with vegetables. Students made racing derby cars out of veggies, then tested them on the Pennacrest. Carrots, corn, and squash were all a part of the construction, as well as some toothpicks. The class is entry-level engineering, where many first-year students can grow their interests in the field.
Even though most apartments in Iowa City and the student housing provided by the university officially don't allow pets, animals are allowed under very special circumstances. In 2013, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development declared that housing providers, including students at schools, allow people to keep animals in their homes if medically needed. And for some students, that animal is the difference between a very good day and a very bad day. Brianna Jett has more.
Knowing when I come home, there's that bang, 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 bang of a tail against a crate, and it's just like, it makes you smile because this one thing in your life is always happy to see you.
Aubrey Friars was diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and suicidal tendencies, but she doesn't let that slow her down. Instead, she has 2 best friends to keep her going.
It was suggested to me after a hospital stay that I get an animal to help me start learning to cope better with the problems in my life.
Bo is 2 years old and Louie is just 6 months old, but the 2 puppies are more than just pets. They're certified emotional support animals. Friars leans on them when life starts to weigh heavy on her shoulders. Shortly after she brought Bo home, Friars had a couple nervous breakdowns, but Bo was there to comfort her and to listen when it seemed that no one else was.
He looked at me and went, "I know, I'm here." And I was like, good, because this.
So Friars filled out a form, signed by her therapist and psychiatrist, and was able to open her apartment door to 2 very happy dogs.
The day that I got permission was probably one of the best days of my life.
Friars and her dogs are just one example of the support animals provide UI students, and she says that she'll continue to tell others about her puppies, just in case someone else needs a furry friend. Brianna Jett, Daily Iowan TV.
Well, Katie, I think I can speak for both of us when I say the weather this week has been downright awful.
I know, and it's not very ideal when walking to class, but I really hope it stops Saturday for the game. Let's toss it over to Afe in the weather studio, who will tell us more. Afe?
Hi guys, unfortunately the downpour we experienced on Tuesday will not be the last of the week. Looking into Thursday, the temperatures will start out at chilly 38 degrees with partly cloudy skies. As afternoon rolls around, expect temperatures to rise slightly into the high 40s. By evening, temperatures will drop down to 45 degrees. Moving on to the rest of the week, Friday will have similar weather with partly cloudy skies. Unfortunately for Hawkeye fans and trick-or-treaters, the weekend will be a wet one, so don't forget to throw your rain gear on. That's all I have for you here at the studio. Back to you guys at the desk.
As you walk through the Ped Mall, you may have seen this guy singing his heart out. Whether it's daylight or the dark evening hours, H. Jones loves to perform. Daily Iowan TV's Megan Sanchez sat down with him to learn more about his passion for music.
All through the night. You can meet me at my house.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Ace Jones. I'm a singer-songwriter from Cedar Rapids, originally from California. I'm 27 years old. When I was about 14 or 15, I started playing guitar. Before you know it, I was in a band and we played a lot of shows in California, and it just pretty much went from there.
Let's go back to California.
I play a lot of different styles. A lot of people say it's more like folk, a lot of people say it's more like rock, but I kind of describe it as like power acoustic rock, you know. It's kind of like whatever I write, you know, whatever comes out, that's what it is. Sometimes it sounds like country, sometimes it sounds like rock, sometimes it sounds like pop, so it's an eclectic mix of all kinds of different genres. The one thing I really like about singing and playing guitar is just expressing your emotion and drawing emotion from other people, you know. I'll play a song, and then if somebody can relate to it and they get some emotion out of it, you know, I think I've done my job, because I don't just write songs to just write songs. I write songs because I genuinely feel those songs. You know, kind of toning it down since I do have a family now, it's a lot more fun because I have more control over what I do. So wherever the Lord takes me is where I go.
Staring out the window, snow really didn't seem to look that bad.
After weeks of sleeping on the issue, senators of the University of Iowa student government approved funding of a napping station in the Iowa Memorial Union. Students will now have the option to take a quick snooze in between classes without having to walk back to their dorm or apartment. The station is estimated to cost a little under $7,000. The napping station should be up and running by finals week this semester.
Nearly a dozen Republican presidential candidates are slated to debate Wednesday night in Boulder, Colorado. The debate is expected to center around economic issues like taxes and job growth. The debate airs tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. Be sure to check out tomorrow's edition of the Daily Iowan, where our ethics and politics team will have full coverage of the debate.
Sad news rocked the Big Ten Conference this morning when Minnesota's head football coach Jerry Kill retired immediately due to health issues.
Coach Kill was the head coach for Minnesota since 2011, and so far this season the team was 4-3 overall. Jordan and Hannah are standing by in the sports studio. Sad news for this Minnesota team, guys.
Thanks, Katie and Andrew. There were multiple tweets and messages posted expressing their condolences for the Minnesota football team and Coach Kill.
This conference will definitely not be the same without him. But speaking of the Big Ten,
for sports like volleyball and football, their Big Ten journeys are barely over.
But for the Iowa men's and women's cross-country teams, their Big Ten championships are right around the corner.
Our weekend preview crew has the details on that later, but Hannah caught up with the team's captains.
That's right, Jordan and I did, and each sports team in general relies heavily on their captains, and the same goes for the Iowa cross-country teams. Ben Anderson and Tess Wilberding, both juniors, have stepped into the role for the season. And even though the teams are separate, working together and formulating the same goals are what make both teams so successful and are why each of these runners consider themselves to be so honored to be leaders of their group.
I'm honored to be a captain on the team, but honestly, I feel like our whole team is really good about leading each other and taking from each other, and we have such good team chemistry that I don't think it's too much of just me. I think everyone does such a good job of like leading each other and helping, that I don't feel like everything is on me, but I'm really honored because it's such an awesome group of girls.
I really would love us to finish in the top half of the Big Ten this year at the Big Ten meet and better our place in terms of regionals from where we finished last year. I think last year we had our ups and downs, and this year we're definitely having our ups and downs, but I think it's all going to come together, and I'm very excited for the championship part of our season.
We try to kind of unite the guys and the girls because, you know, when one part has success, then we feel it on the other half. And I think that's what happened in our last meet. The guys did so well that, I mean, we were so excited to perform after that. And I think that had a lot to do with, like, our performance.
And to think both those captains both still have a year left leading those teams says even more about those two.
Exactly, Jordan. But as one season might be ending for some, there are others that are just beginning.
The Iowa wrestling team has only 17 days until the grapple on the gridiron in Kinnick Stadium. And Laura Belanda gives us a little preview on what to expect this season.
He's a 3-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, and he just signed a 3-year extension through the 2019-2020 season. Head coach of the University of Iowa's nationally renowned wrestling team is Tom Brands, and he takes this team very seriously and says Iowa wrestling is a privilege to be a part of. This traditionally successful team leads the nation in attendance and is looking to break the national dual attendance record versus Oklahoma State in a duel that's come to be known as Grapple on the Gridiron. It'll take place in Kinnick Stadium, and they've already sold 30,000 tickets. Some recognizable talent returning to this Iowa team is Corey Clark, a 133-pound junior who placed second at the NCAA championship. He earned the Mike Howard Most Valuable Wrestler Award and reached third in the nation. Brandon Sorensen sits at either 149 or 157 pounds currently on the roster. He's a sophomore and placed fourth in the NCAA championship last year and second in the Big Ten championship. And Sammy Brooks in his junior season is wrestling at 184 pounds. He placed third in the Big Ten tournament last year and ranked 7th in the nation. Nathan Birak, a 197-pound senior, was 7th in the NCAA tournament last season and was 4th at the Big Ten championship. These Iowa wrestlers are hungry for even more success this season and are ready to fill Kinnick and Carver this winter. Laura Belanda, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Daily Iowan TV will get more of an inside look at Iowa wrestling next week at Media Day.
For more of a look into the future, our weekend sports preview crew is back with exactly where Iowa athletics will be over the weekend. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, guys. The Iowa volleyball team has 2 home games this weekend right here at Carver Hawkeye Arena. The action begins at 7 o'clock on Friday night, where the Hawkeyes will take on Maryland, and at 7:30 on Saturday, where the Hawkeyes will face off against Rutgers. The volleyball team is 10-13 overall this season and 0-10 in conference play. The Hawkeyes had a rough go-around this weekend, where they fell to number 9 Minnesota and number 16 Wisconsin. This weekend is very crucial for the Hawkeyes as they try to get a couple wins of conference play under their belt. That's all I have here at Carver Hawkeye. Let's send it to Mark Fry with an update on cross country.
Thanks, Ashlyn. The Iowa cross country team heads to Evanston, Illinois on Sunday, where they'll compete in the Big Ten championships. They'll compete for the first time in 2 weeks, but they will look to build on some very solid performances from that meet. For the men's side, Michael Melcher finished 3rd on October 16th and will look to build on that performance in the Big Tens. On the women's side, Madison Waymeyer has finished as the top Hawkeye all season long, and she will look for her 5th consecutive top performance for the Hawkeyes on Sunday. The Hawkeyes will compete in the Big Ten Championship in Evanston, Illinois, starting at 10:45 a.m. on Sunday. We'll send it over to Holly Reimer, who has an update on field hockey.
Thanks, Mark. The University of Iowa field hockey team is looking to bounce back from their back-and-forth battle against Penn State this past weekend. The Nittany Lions took the win with no time left in the clock, but the Hawks are ready to focus up for their last game of the regular season. Iowa forward Stephanie Norlander was named Big Ten's leading goal scorer and just scored her 15th goal of the season. The Hawkeyes hope to see her success continue in leading the team in their last game of the regular season against Maryland this Saturday, October 31st, right here at Grant Field.
Now, one sport not mentioned today was Iowa football, and they'll be back in Kinnick Stadium on Saturday against Maryland.
The Terrapins bring an 0-3 record in the Big Ten to Iowa City, but our pregame show on Thursday will get more in depth about Iowa and Maryland's matchup. Andrew and Katie, back to you.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check us out tomorrow night, same time, same place. I'm Katie Sextro.
And I'm Andrew Roberts. Have a great night, Iowa City.